We have a very special segment about to happen, thanks to a potential sponsor.
It's a first for us. It's really a taste test segment where we're going to review a product and see if we can actually give it our endorsement.
Correct. You're getting to see some behind the scenes Let's Talk Penn State. This is how we evaluate our sponsors. We want to make sure that it's a product that we like, that we feel good about.
Right.
We didn't record like the Dietz and Watson meat testing, but this is the kind of stuff that we do.
It's kind of a given. We all like Dietz and Watson, of course.
Correct.
But this is a new, exciting wine.
This is something new from one of our listeners, and we've asked a special guest all the way from France to help share with us what we're doing today.
Yeah.
So please welcome Faten Ben Hamza to the podcast. And thank you very much for being with us.
Our sommelier.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a delight to be here, and it's a delight to try this wine that looks really good from the outside. It's a 2012 Syrah, and I'm really, really happy to be testing it out with you guys today.
So what do you look for on the outside of the bottle when you say it looks good from the outside?
Yeah, I was
looking
mainly
at here?
referring to the label.
Okay, so you like the label.
This
I
good
like the
style.
label. We can't see the color of the wine yet, but I'm looking forward to this when
Wonderful.
we pour it down.
And for those listening on the podcast, the top is actually covered in some wax, I believe. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's sealed. It's a
En
real
français,
seal.
wax.
C'est de la cire.
Ah oui.
So,
oui.
voilà, c'est bien scellé, c'est une vraie cire.
Merci.
C'est real, real
Jamon,
seal.
fromage, oui. Okay, so should we open it
Maybe
up?
taste?
Sure, yeah, let's do that. I mean, the honor is yours.
Okay,
You
so we'll
open,
peel
I
the
taste.
wax.
This will be quite a process. So as we're opening up the bottle, we can mention this is actually a Let's Talk Penn State listener-owned winery, a vineyard, all the way on the other side of the states. This hails from Oregon, I believe, right?
I believe Washington,
So is it
somewhere in
Washington?
the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, you know.
The bottle says.
That's what the label
The bottle
says.
says Red Mountain, Washington.
Red Mountain,
I think they may
Washington.
live in Oregon,
Oh.
but have their winery in Washington.
Wow.
It's a multi-state business.
That's how they do
What's
it.
the weather like there? I'd be curious to compare maybe with.
Well, it's perfect for
France.
growing grapes. Quite cloudy often, and it depends. Of course, I'm not familiar with Red Mountain where that specifically is, but in Washington you have the cool coastal influence, but you also have some valleys that are drier.
I want to see if we can hear the cork pop. Well, more of a click.
Wow!
But, oh, now I'm getting some aroma. I'm
Wafting
definitely
it?
wafting.
I can tell you that it smells good.
Wow! It
Smells
smells
really good.
like a
Yeah.
wine, is
So
what
we're
I'm.
gonna
Yeah.
pour.
In French, we would say il a beaucoup de rondeur.
Bonjour
Like-
à
Oh, le
tous.
bouquet, like a bouquet of fragrance.
No. But,
No.
but we could say that too. Il y a beaucoup de saveur, oui, de senteur.
She's like, no, in France we call this petit déjeuner, which is breakfast.
We also do that.
So should we let it
Yeah,
breathe for a
so-
moment? So,
For a moment, but like the color is
Instruct
good.
us.
Yeah.
okay, so we're looking at wine.
Another information relevant maybe to wine tasting, like in France, the texture of the wine we call it la robe, which translates into the dress in English. So when you like turn it in your glass, you're looking at la robe and you try to see how dense it is, or like we also call it like if it's round or edgy. So we look at that.
We're looking for the legs, the
No, la
tannins.
robe. No, just the dress.
Just the
La
dress.
robe.
We have a fourth glass. The companion video to this audio is being filmed by my mother in our home. We have a glass of wine for her as well.
Smells
So-
delicious.
Shall we,
Without
Yes.
further ado, cheers.
or en français,
Santé.
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 Oh, that's yummy.
Wow.
It's very, very good.
So what notes are you getting? So I'm processing here, right? So I'm definitely getting depth. It's that kind of wine that hangs out in your mouth for a bit, which I like. I like that kind of depth.
Ooh, it is very complex, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's complex. It stays in your mouth, but not in an unpleasant way.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
you just want more after that.
The
just
worst is
keep
if
wanting
it's like a vinegary, whatever. I'm not getting any sourness, but I'm also not getting something that's too sweet.
No, it's not too sweet.
It definitely has a hardiness to it.
Yes.
How would you describe the notes? you're getting?
Very, I think maybe like some black blackberry. Do you think?
Blackberry?
Currant?
Blackberry?
Blackberry.
Blackberry, yes.
Currant?
Yeah, I don't know. There
currants.
is a little fruitiness to it, but it's still quite dry.
Yeah.
It's not
It's not fruity.
not too intense.
Now,
Not très fruité.
now, what would best be enjoyed with this bottle of wine? Maybe a
cheese.
steak?
Not cheese. Cheese would be great.
Of
Yeah.
course, probably a nice pork chop.
For sure. For whoever eats that. But cheese would be great because, you know, the softness of the cheese would go pretty well with the dryness of the
Complement
wine.
the
So,
flavor.
yeah. It's kind of opposite textures and flavors.
The big question is, do we feel we can give it our full Let's Talk Penn State endorsement? Can they bear a sticker of support on the future labels?
You know, one of the other things we look for, it has less to do with the product and more to do with the business model of, can they handle the influx of business that comes from being on Let's Talk Penn State?
Well, just ask Utz. I mean, they've had to really stock up now that we've brought them on board.
Boyer Candies has created at least 500 new jobs in central
Just
Pennsylvania.
in PA, yeah. Right.
Thanks to Let's Talk Penn State.
The best jobs.
Biggest jobs.
The biggest jobs.
I would say,
As
give it
an
support.
independent consultant, I would give it my endorsement. I think it's a wine I would totally bring to my dinner table.
Ooh.
So it has mine.
Maybe even to a tailgate if you're feeling fancy.
Yes, yeah, to the fancy part of the tailgate, the one I saw last year.
This is the president's
VIP
tailgate, yes.
people, whatever it's called.
so, you know, everyone has their different kind of measures when they talk about these kinds of things of like, you know, what was it? Roger Ebert, it was like 2 thumbs up, right? Or you have 5 stars, or the Michelin. So,
Of course.
Tim and I, when we were at Penn State, we were in the Penn State Blue Band, we were trumpet players. The trumpet section has 68 trumpets.
That's right.
And so we do all of our rating on a scale of 0 to 68 trumpets. I'm going to give
been
this,
established. That's right. Yes.
I'm giving this 68 trumpets.
a perfect score.
A perfect score.
Really?
I don't know, it's the first time we've ever done this.
it doesn't give us much room to grow.
I mean, how many trumpets would you give it?
I mean, I would buy this
Just to build
every
maybe
day.
a little bit more nuance, I would give it 66 trumpets.
66
So there's
trumpets.
room for improvement for anybody else who would come.
I'm gonna fall right in between. I'll go 67 trumpets
67 trombones.
in the big parade.
I think it's
delicious.
a very nice wine. I would definitely love to have this wine with a nice meal. To me, that's when wine is best enjoyed. I rarely will drink
I
wine,
agree.
just wine. Maybe a Jose, if it's on a summer day.
Yeah.
But to have a nice glass of wine, to me, is the sign that a nice dinner is about to come. And this is the kind of wine that I would absolutely have in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
So if we're about to give our endorsement, should we very clearly say the brand and the information here that we're
Yes.
endorsing?
Well,
That's
it's
right.
a Syrah. It's a Syrah from 2012, and it's Domaine Volcaneaux.
Domaine Volcaneaux.
Yeah.
Which would also translate to volcano, is that right?
Yes, kind of, I guess.
And it would appear that it's been bottled by Volcano Vineyards in Bend, Oregon.
You can read more at volcanovineyards.com. That's with 2 V's, Volcano Vineyards.
That's right. And they
.com.
want you to know, drink wine and smile. That's the tagline. Volcano Vineyards. Bend, Oregon, if you're ever in the area, you can pick up a bottle of this lovely wine, or I'm sure we can connect you to their social media.
Well, at Cougar Lion Vino, of course, you can contact Ms. Lizzie Britches. So the message that led to this whole
Lizzie Britches. I always thought it was
conversation,
Fuzzy
I
Britches.
think she changed it recently because I believe it was Fuzzy Britches. But she said, now that I've gotten two shout outs on the podcast, I'm compelled to ask, how does one become a sponsor? My husband and I own a winery in Oregon.
See?
And I thought it would be funny because you can only get our wine if you're in Oregon. And I would bet I'm your only Oregon listener, so the sponsor thing would be ridiculous, which is on brand for both LTPS and our winery. Let me know. By the way, this is my favorite podcast ever. Don't ask me why, but I laugh out loud a lot. And I hope I never meet either of you because I don't want to be disappointed. That part I'm slightly disappointed by myself, Ms. Lizzie Britches, but
That's amazing.
it is what it is.
It's okay, we don't want to meet you either.
She wants to keep
But
But
her
we responded.
Very
Send us some
good.
wine. We'll evaluate it. And gosh darn it,
She might
showed
have
right up.
broken many laws by sending this through the mail.
How many states did it pass through? Because it could be a crime in each of them.
I think we've documented it now. That we hope it doesn't put them under. But this is very good
Well,
wine.
it was worth it.
We are smiling.
Yeah, thank
we
you.
thank you to our
Lizzie,
sommelier.
Fuzzy.
And
My
s-
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And so one final thing here. We're recording this on Friday night, the night before the whiteout game. Fettin is here for her second consecutive whiteout game.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're expecting or what you're looking forward to tomorrow?
Oh, my expectations are very high because last year was my first experience at the white game and the tailgate, and I was not disappointed. It was an amazing day, and that's why I'm back this year. But I've been reading in the media that it's supposed to be a seismic event tomorrow. So, like, the promise is really high, and I hope they will deliver on it. So yeah, I expect it to be a beautiful sunny day with a lot of great energy, great food, great drinks, great people, great music. That's what I'm expecting.
Qu'est-ce que c'est en français? Seismic?
Seismic.
Sismic.
Voilà.
Ok.
This
Voilà.
is how you pronounce it in
Voilà.
English? Seismic?
Ouais.
Yeah. Oui,
Chapeau.
voilà, chapeau.
Ouais.
So, demain, une belle journée.
Ah, merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous.
Merci.
Bravo Penn State.
Et merci
Bravo.
à tous.
Chapeau.
Merci à tous. À demain.
À demain.
Un podcast.
Drink wine.
Nueve.
Un nouveau podcast.
Ouais.
Un nouvel épisode du podcast.
In 1 week.
Et dans une semaine.
Dans une semaine.
Voilà.
Ben, voilà. Merci.
Au revoir.
Bonsoir. Au
Au
revoir.
revoir.
All right. We should have periscoped it, is what we should have done.